Today we're going to be checking out the brand new release of the Kotobukiya Black Manta 1/10 scale ArtFx statue. Let's get some measurements going. Black Manta stands at 7 inches tall. The statue itself also has, you gotta be careful with picking this up, has a couple of magnets on the undersides of the feet, to which you can easily plant on top of the display stand. And factoring in the display stand, the figure stands at almost 8 inches tall. Yes, one of the things I do like so much about the Kotobukiya pieces is the fact that the undersides of the soles of the feet are generally magnets, so it's very easy to put them in place. You don't have to worry about a peg, you don't have to worry about a foot lining up somewhere. You can really put the feet any which way that you want. Granted, you don't have a very large base to work from, but it's a lot easier, and I wish other companies would take the same cues. It's a lot easier to peg this or attach this to a stand when the statue itself is magnetized. One of my personal all-time favorite supervillains from the DC universe is Black Manta. And I think Kotobukiya has done an outstanding job here giving us a recreation of Black Manta in an ArtFx statue. And the end result, I think, is really nicely done. There are a few areas, I'm just going to take him off the display stand, there's a few areas that I'm a little iffy on. Not iffy in the sense that the way the sculpt or the way that it was executed, but just the fragile aspect of it. For example, the back blade weapon here, which obviously is not removable, is very fragile plastic. Like the very tips are very, I mean, you can almost hear it as I'm running my finger across it. I can't stress this enough. This would be a very fragile area of the statue that you have to be very, very careful of it. He does have a couple of little blade batons that he holds in his hands. And basically, his helmet, his backpack, and these little sword weapons that he has are all done in this beautiful chrome. And it looks awesome. You don't see very often a statue that incorporates the aspect of chrome into the way that the statue is built. So this is a real fine treat seeing Black Manta here cast with all this additional shine. Granted, he could have also just used the gray, as you can see here, the collar as well as the gauntlet area on the one arm is painted rather than using the chrome. This could have also been executed very well, but the chrome gives a little extra oomph. It has an insane level of reflection to it, only really broken up by the dark cranberry color of his very large eyes. One of the aspects I love so much about Black Manta is his over-the-top helmet with his giant eyes, and it looks really good here on statue form. They got a couple of little notches there of the red also breaking up the collar area. And then other than that, the most of his body, other than the one area here, there I am, the one area there on the strap is about the only area that he has extra color. The rest of the figure or statue favors only the sculpt of the black to carry it across. And I love the sculpt on his body. Not only do you get the musculature of his form, but you can also see areas in which it looks like literally like the fabric has stretched, getting over his very large frame. So for example, he's got all these little pull, stretched, wrinkled areas where his legs are spread right around the lower torso, lower waist area of his body. And he's also got like those little stretched areas around the bicep area, around his abdomen, and around his pectorals. I mean, he looks great. I guess the only thing I would say is that he does read a little small. Now, generally, like the Kotobukiya ArtFx statues tend to be small in nature. They're not overly tall pieces, so I guess he fits the profile perfectly for an ArtFx statue. But Black Manta, just because I usually think Black Manta as a very tall, a very commanding, towering character, I'm a little slightly off by the fact that he comes across like a little short, a little squat. But if you really factor in the idea that his one leg is bent and the other leg is kind of arched backwards, he would make for a much towering presence if his legs were completely straight. By having him slightly arched and lunging forward, it definitely gives a little bit more extra pizzazz, I think, to this particular statue. As you would guess, there's absolutely no posability to this. It's completely a staction piece. But I absolutely adore what they've done to Black Manta here. The only thing I would say as the little small nitpick is the fact that these little back areas here, everything else seems relatively sturdy on him. Even like the little swords that he's holding. The only area that I'm a little iffy on is this back area here. So be very, very careful of those. The Kotobukiya Black Manta ArtFx statue is now currently released in comic book stores. So it's actually out right now. Picked him up the other day. Price point on this guy will range from anywhere from $75 to about $85, depending on what stores you pick them up. Kotobukiyas are a little bit more expensive, but I think the trade-off, though, is you get a really fantastic sculpt. And in a case such as Black Manta here, I love the incorporating of the chrome. Really just jazzes up the figure, which was already really good, but jazzes up that sculpt by incorporating a bit of that extra sheen. Again, today we were looking at the Black Manta ArtFx statue from the folks over at Kotobukiya. If you guys are fans of Kotobukiya pieces, I've also got a playlist that you can check out featuring all the older statues that I've looked at on this channel. If you also haven't had a chance to subscribe, what are you waiting for? Hit that little subscribe button down below. You won't miss a beat when it comes to future Kotobukiya statue reviews, as well as other figure and collectible reviews as well. As always, guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.